Get it, sus, get it, sus, get it. You killing me, she. You killing me, she. Get it, poo, get it, poo.
Before becoming the latest hip-hop artist to pop off thanks to the strength of her personality, as well as some over-the-top sexuality that's unusually relatable, well, Sexyy Red was born Janae Wherry on April 15th, 1998 in St. Louis, Missouri. Unquestionably a product of her environment, well, Red, she grew up saying exactly what was on her mind. Now, back in St. Louis, well, she never considered filtering the things she'd say, and without ever meaning to. I mean, she'd find herself shocking many of her friends with her colorful, let's say, vocabulary. Now, sometimes those moments, they could lead to confrontation and to some trouble, but even still, well, Red, she never held back. During middle school is when her friends, they started calling her Red for the first time, because that's when she began dyeing her hair that same color. And no, she wasn't doing so in an attempt to create an early version of her rap persona. In fact, Red, well, she never even considered rapping until she found herself cheated on by her longtime boyfriend, and she decided to write a diss track about it.
Started rapping because my boyfriend at the time had made me mad. He was fucking with a lame ass bitch. So I made a song about it. I made a diss song.
Having always been a fan of artists like Project Pat, Juicy J, 3-6 Mafia, and Chief Keef, well, the very first bars that Red would ever pen were just as hard-hitting as those male artists that influenced her. And once she played that song for her cheating boyfriend, a funny thing happened. He actually loved it. More than just that, well, he thought the song was so good that they actually encouraged her to re-record it properly and then release it. While speaking with Complex, well, Sexyy Red, she would tell them. So I made a whole other song and went to record it, and that's when everyone was like, send me the song. And it was going around the city. They started calling me saying, you want to come to this party this weekend? We can put your face on the flyer and give you $100. Never one to turn down a payday. Well, Red, she came up with her full moniker of Sexyy Red with the help of a cameraman who thought of the idea for what I believe are some of, well, all too obvious reasons. Well, she then began accepting nearly every offer to perform that came her way as she steadily built up a significant buzz around her city. Sexyy Red would begin releasing music professionally for the first time around 2018. Now, her very first track was titled 1,000 Jugs, and it was a reworking of the Vanessa Carlton's 2002 hit 1,000 Miles. Over the next few years, she continued to release new songs like Slide while still living at her mama's house. Now, sometime after dropping a new track, well, some of her friends, they would drive by the house, they'd stop, they'd get out, and then they would twerk to her song. Now, one time, Red and her mother, they were sitting on the front porch when this happened, and Red, well, she was embarrassed, wondering what her mother must think. But it turns out her mom, she liked it. In fact, she said, girl, I already know you a hoe, I know you ratchet. Now, the problem was that while Red was making music with provocative titles like Slob on My C-Cat and I Love My Nickel, well, her work, it wasn't exactly finding an audience. Now, during these early years, well, Red, she would practically have to beg other people to help her out. Now, whether it was booking studio time or getting a ride to a gig, she even had to self-release her 2021 debut album, Ghetto Superstar. Bolstered by tracks like Throwin' It and Sexy following this release, well, the needle on Red's career finally began to inch forward as her social media following expanded to over 50,000 subs on YouTube, as well as over 160,000 followers on Instagram. Then came 2023, which would turn into the biggest year of Sexyy Red's life. That year, her unapologetic honesty, well, it finally turned her into a superstar when her Chief Keef produced hit Pound Town, well, it dropped in January and turned into an absolutely viral runaway hit. We're talking co-signs by everyone from Cardi B to Post Malone. What made the first track Red ever freestyled so popular? Well, it's pretty easy to pinpoint actually. It was the one verse that went a little something like this. My coochie pink, my booty hole brown. That colorful description of some of Red's most private body parts, well, it caught fire on social media. Now, it might be vulgar lines that earned Sexyy Red the bulk of her attention, but she considers conversations about sex to be a part of everyday life, and she's also tired of the doubled standard around female MCs. You know, girls being chastised for having sexually explicit lyrics in their songs, because the same thing seldom, if ever, happens to men. In fact, she explained to Complex, men talk about fucking bitches all day, every day in their songs, but when we get to talking about it, it's a problem. But I don't care what they think because it's not for the ends, it's for the girls. Since her breakthrough moment with Sexyy Red, she has become the latest definition of a round the way girl, the type of female rap artist like Glorilla or Ice Spice, whose videos are often shot at gas stations and feature some of their closest personal friends, having a whole bunch of fun while presenting themselves to be, well, as ordinary as you or me. From there, well, Red's hype train continued to build when she collaborated with her good friend Summer Walker on Sense That God Gave You, as well as fellow sex-positive diva Sukihana on Born by the River. Built around a reversal of a famous Sam Cooke lyric, well, that later track earned glowing critical praise, and it prompted an Instagram following from Drake. In other words, well, Sexyy Red, she had finally arrived. Now, all she had to do was figure out, well, a way to stay there, and it wouldn't be all that difficult for her. In May of 2023, well, Sexyy Red, she would re-team with Chief Keef once more for a sequel to their original hit, appropriately titled Pound Town 2. But this time, well, they brought a little extra help with them from Nicki Minaj. According to Nicki, well, she was originally hesitant to appear on this track, but when she decided to let go and have a little bit of fun, well, it only took her about 3 hours to write her verse.
I wanted to put out the Pound Town remix free as a freestyle. You know how I used to do just like
Drop it, on people's sheets.
From there, the single, it would become Red's first official Billboard hit when it landed on the Hot 100, debuting at the 66th spot. Now, contributing to the song's gains are its multiple edits, which include the original, as well as a sped up, slowed down, and instrumental version. Now, there's also a radio edit and a bass boosted mix. Now, furthermore, well, the song, it's been growing like gangbusters on TikTok, where it's been used over 140,000 times since its release on the platform early this year. Looking to keep momentum going, well, Sexyy Red, she followed on the heels of that single by announcing her newest album, Hood's Hottest Princess, which will not only include Pound Town 2, but also Born by the River, as well as a new feature alongside Juicy J called Strictly for the Strippers. And now that she's finally arrived, well, music isn't the only thing on Sexyy Red's mind. Now, over the course of the next few years, she plans on getting into television, selling clothes, and turning her new makeup line into a bonafide hit in an attempt to earn more money and get her young son out of the hood. If dreaming up product line names like that has you thinking Sexyy Red is too much, well, just wait until you hear about this next part of her story, because ever since she was young, well, Red, she's actually believed in ghosts. Last but not least, well, Red's sister would sometimes confront a dark shadow down in the basement while they were playing hide and seek. In other words, nearly every single person living in that home at one point or another, well, they underwent somewhat of like a paranormal experience. Now, from unexplainable ghost stories to an unbelievable rise to fame, well, Sexyy Red's story has a little bit of everything and it's far from over yet. Will she be able to accomplish the many goals she sets for herself? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. After all, this has been Before They Are Famous. Thanks for checking out this video, guys. Now, I do have a question for you. Has having your partner cheat on you ever unexpectedly resulted in a positive outcome? But let me know what happened to you in the comments down below. Happy to see another female artist take over the game. My name, of course, is Michael McCrutton. Be sure to check out this channel, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in another video.
Oh my God, he's dying. Call 911.
What's the number? Really? What's the number?
With summer less than a month away, what better time than now than to start getting your playlist ready? Maybe you've already heard of the hit song that should jump to the top of your list, but if not, it's okay, I'm here to tell you all about it. No, it's not the next big thing from Drake or even Megan Thee Stallion. Instead, I'm talking about what's currently one of the internet's most viral songs, F&F Let's Go by the incomparable Glorilla. This Memphis-based rapper teamed up with the producer Hit Kid to produce this propulsive hit about ditching her lover to hang out with her girls, and people all over North America can't seem to get enough of its attitude and course, the latter of which I'm definitely not allowed to repeat to you on this family-friendly show. But right now, the music video to that track sits at just over 10 million views on YouTube, and by the end of August, I'm sure there will be millions more tacked onto that number. But just who is this woman who's sick and tired of all these unfaithful men looking to ruin her good time, and how did she transform herself into one of the next up-and-coming rappers? Stay tuned to our latest edition of Before They Were Famous to find out. Glorilla was born Gloria Woods in Memphis, Tennessee, more specifically a northwest side neighborhood known as Frazier, an area of the city with a population of just over 45,000 individuals. As for her childhood, well, she recalls it as being fun, but at times dangerous.
Like Memphis, it was fun growing up in Memphis though. It was bad. I mean, not bad. Like, you know, the city got his
name. I know. Trust me.
Yeah, type shit. But you know, it's really. I'm really proud to say I'm from Memphis, but I just don't want to stay in Memphis.
But as of the early stages of 2022, she's 22 years old, meaning that she was probably born somewhere in late 99 or early 2000. Beyond that, here's what we do know. According to her Facebook page, as a teenager, Gloria attended a whole host of local high schools, including Melrose, Martin Luther King Jr. College Preparatory, and Ridgeway High. Outside of school, Gloria found her passion for music while singing in church, where her extremely religious mother would often take her, sometimes as many as 4 times in a week. From that point forward, she had high hopes of one day becoming a singer. The only problem, as a teenager, she lost her singing voice.
I used to sing in church, and I wanted to be a singer, but I realized I couldn't sing no more.
What?
So, yeah, I couldn't sing no more. So I started rapping because I always wanted to be on the scene of music. You know.
Now, how exactly did that happen? Well, apparently she started smoking too much in high school, but just because one avenue closed doesn't mean that she had to give up on her dream of taking center stage completely. Instead, she decided to become the next best thing, a rapper. For about as long as it's been around, part of the beauty in rap music has been the possibility that anything can happen. At any given point, some random freestyle or new single with no chorus can ride a wave of popularity and cross over into audiences outside of that rapper's home city. And that's exactly what's happening now to Glorilla thanks to FNF. First released at the end of April 2022, it would take a few weeks before this song blew up into an underground hit and transformed Glorilla, a talented artist who's been around for a hot minute, but one that many hadn't heard of yet, into a full-on star. And perhaps the craziest thing about it is that she recorded the track and the music video in the same freaking day.
And that's when me and her went in the booth and we just kept saying that part. And so after we got done, he was like, alright, this was at 1. We got done with the session at 1. He said, alright, video today at 4 o'clock. I said, damn! I'm talking about 4 o'clock. He said, I really want to shoot that hoe right now. But he was like, 4 o'clock.
After releasing a trailer with a snippet of the track on her Instagram page, the song was further assisted by DJ Duffy, who created a TikTok with Glorilla's bars playing in the background. And just like that, the song's popularity skyrocketed. Now, we've already discussed what the song is about, a newly single Glorilla's overwhelming desire to party, and its message that nearly everyone who listens to the song, man or woman, can relate to. Oh, so she's newly single, eh? Of course, it probably helps that the accompanying music video is chock full of her and her friends shaking ass, wilding out, getting drunk, just generally having more fun than any of us have had in the past couple years.
Who are your ratchet ass friends?
My friends in the video, they ratchet.
What's their name?
TZ,
How's
Asia.
TZ ratchet? What makes her ratchet?
She acts like a dumbass. And she be acting real ratchet, like she be acting like she from, you know how Memphis people act.
But here's the thing, like I've already hinted at, Glorilla's been posting music online for a while now. Inspired by her favorite rapper, Chief Keef, Gloria created her own SoundCloud account at the end of 2018 and registered it under the nickname her cousin had come up with her, Glorilla, based off of, you guessed it, her very first name.
My cousin gave me my name, cause my cousin know, like I'm really be on some savage shit. Yeah. But you know my name Glow anyway, then boom, he hit it with the gone with the Glorilla junk, so yeah.
You know, I for one really do like it when someone's rap name is a play off of their real name, especially when it's like unexpected. I really didn't think that Glorilla Pimp would be named Gloria in real life. I mean, like imagine if Young Thug's first name was Thug Naramis or something. You'd think it's a rap name, but you know, it's like, oh, it's real, yeah? Not just making shit up. It's not like your name was Chris and you like renamed yourself Clyde or some shit like that. It's not even like Clyde's like her middle name or something. Anyways, moving on. She then posted a couple of duo tracks under the name of Pretty Thugs, with titles like Where and Ride, before branching out on her own with further releases such as Solo and Favorite. Afterwards, she'd abandon SoundCloud and record and release her debut mixtape titled Most Likely Up Next, dropping it on YouTube in June of 2019. The following year, she'd move on to an EP titled P Status, which was also released on her YouTube channel. 2020 would be an even bigger year for her, and that's when she'd team up with the producer behind her breakthrough hit, the aptly titled Hit Kid, to participate in an EP of his cuts starring other Memphis-based female rappers like Slime Roni, Alzia, K Carbon, and one of Glorilla's best friends, Gloss Up. I need a Glorilla and Gloss Up track. That's dope. I bet there already is one. I need to get put on. But with as much potential as those early tracks hinted at, it wouldn't be until the release of FNF that Glorilla finally found her footing and created what's currently one of the 10 most watched videos on YouTube at this moment in time. Yes, right up there with releases from the likes of Kendrick Lamar and Future. In fact, the song has become such a hit that Glorilla has already tapped fellow MC Saweetie to appear on the upcoming remix. something that was teased with a social media post from some behind the scenes footage from their music video shoot. As for what's next for this talented artist who now has the entire world at her fingertips, well, I can only imagine that nearly as many record labels are lining up to throw cash at her, as she now has even her ex-boyfriends looking to get back with her. Can understand that.
So she really got done with my lashes late. I really was an hour late because he said pull up at 7. She got done with my lashes at like 6:50, and I'm all the way in Cordova. They all the way downtown. So he texted me the whole day. He like, let me know when you come up with a chorus.
So keep your eyes peeled to this space and our famous news channel on Instagram to keep up to date on how much further Glorilla blows up. As for what happens next, well, you already know the deal. After all, this is before they were famous. My name is Clyde Smith, and I'll see you guys in another video. Maybe you guys will see me as a love interest in the next Glorilla music video. Who knows? A man can manifest, can't he? Anyways,